Okay, everybody, I hope you can hear me. Let me go ahead and get started. I never did this by
Okay,
myself
everybody, I
before.
hope you can hear me.
So let's see how we can work this out. And then maybe if you can't hear me, I'll try it all over again tomorrow. Okay? All right. So right now, I'm hanging out and I'm just thinking because I have the privilege of being on the phone with a few people who have students who are honor roll students in school. And these students are seeking scholarship opportunities, right? So I am looking for opportunities to streamline this information. But what I'm finding out is the students are not executing their research so that they can actually earn or obtain a scholarship, right? So let's see if we can make this practical. Okay. So if you're a student and you're in high school right now, I'd be sitting back thinking about what I'm gonna do in the next 8 months. Am I gonna go to college, or maybe I should go to the military, or possibly I may just want to go into the workforce, take a little break. Well, let me share with you. Time is not really on your side to just chill because you're probably behind because other students who will be graduating in 2017 are probably already ahead of you. They've applied for schools, they've received scholarships, they already been on the campus, they've done their little college tour, met a few professors, so they're in the game. They ready. Then you have others who may have reached out, did a little research on some job opportunities, got something lined up for them, possibly even worked on a resume so they can walk into employment. And then there's this group who decides they want to go and serve their country, and they have talked with recruiters, veterans, prior military to determine what's the best route to take, whether they're going to commission or they're going to go and enlist it, and what route will be more convenient for them and their lifestyle. And then you have those who say, I just want a trade. I'm interested in well, then I might be wanting to be a truck driver, possibly maybe even a dental tech or a CNA. And they've already spoke with some folks, and or maybe they're working in those career fields and they're connected and they're ready to go. So you see, if you're just sitting back, you're just chilling and you have an idea, but there has been no execution, you have not visited the college campus, you have not spoken to financial aid, you have not reached out to the counselors on the campus or maybe student government or even a student who attends that school, then you're going to be behind. We have to learn how to execute prior to entering the doors. And so you may be excited about your grade point average, and you may be at the top of the line. However, if you do not execute with a paper and a pen or gain relationships with those out there in the community that can offer you financial assistance, you're going to be behind. Okay, so let's go. Let's talk about some things. Let's slide through a little bit. So I developed a program called Spread Your Wings Initiative, and it's called Innovative, Creative, and Unique ICU. So there are plenty of individuals I'm coming across that are very talented, very innovative, very creative, very unique, but they spent so much time in the books, or maybe they spending time in their gifts and their talents, and they have an idea that I want to attend higher education or I want to obtain higher education, but they have not reached out to an association in that field, a career professional in that degree field. They have not gained relationships with their counselors or maybe even community leaders. And so, although you may have all of the gift in the world, all of the insight of what you want to do, but you have not pursued any relationships, you're going to be one of those students that's going to be left behind, right? So what do I mean by spreading your wings? So our students have to learn process. They have to start understanding leadership skills because remember, everybody's going to want to make so much money because they're going to think they're entitled to it because of their particular skill set in their mind. They haven't executed anything, but in their mind and on paper, according to standardized tests, or maybe even regular quizzes, and according to their report card, oh, they're great, but they have no leadership skills. They don't know how to execute. They don't know how to organize, plan, and execute, right? And then they don't, they haven't figured out that role playing or practicing the way you practice is the way you're going to play. They haven't figured it out. They don't realize that that will have a major effect on their journey. And so if you don't practice when it's time for you to test out what you think you know in the field of what we call the world, reality kicks in. And then what could be a past success turns out to a pitfall, a shortcoming, an obstacle, a hard stop for some, and maybe just a missed opportunity for others. and then leadership is just totally missed. So then they just come what we call book book smart, but they have no common sense, meaning the books making the book smart practical enough that you execute. We're missing that part in the plan. There's no execution, none, zero. Somewhere down the line, we have forgotten that we have to put in some work. Somewhere in the past, we have just missed the boat. We're just missing the boat, you know? Unless you are on some type of team and you are being watched or somebody's life depends on yours, you're not executing anything. You're getting left behind. Man. Okay, so here's the deal. Execution has to be your in your forefront in the near future, in the real near future. And if you're a graduate of December, high school graduate in December, then baby, you're definitely behind the power curve. Let's talk about execution. So there's several things there's several pieces of document that you need to make sure have in your email, on a thumb drive, hard copy in a folder, in a binder. It doesn't matter, in a cloud. It doesn't matter to me how you record these documents, but you're going to have to make sure that wherever you record them, you have easy access to them, right? So that's in because you're still in high school. Right now, it's going to be an unofficial transcript. So your unofficial transcript of where you are right now, a resume, your resume, something that has white space, that's clear and concise, that's understandable, that captures who you are, reference letters. These are from teachers, guidance counselors, attorneys, doctors, principals, or career affiliated associations. These reference letters should be about your character, you as a student, if you're going into the workforce, your work ethic, if you're going to college, what type of student you are, uh, and your dedication to your career field. ACT, SCT scores, if you've tested, if you're going to a school that needs those testing, you should have that. Identification card. Hey, listen, if you're in high school, 15, I think, or 16 years old, you should have an ID card or some form of identification before you mess around and get deported. My bad. I shouldn't have said that. But anyways, you need some form of ID card, okay? You can't just go from state to state if you plan to go out of state and not have some type of identification. If you're gonna live here, you're gonna have to abide by their rules unless you follow some type of other type of jurisdiction. And I'm not up on that, so I can't share it. um, Financial support documents. If you plan to declare independent student, then you're gonna have to prove that. You're gonna have to prove that support. Otherwise, your parents got you till you're 26 years old, right? So this is the foundation of what you need to start executing your plan to achieving or seeking or obtaining any scholarships, any grants, anything that you're trying to get to better your lifestyle as a student. Okay. Otherwise, you're going to be stressed out or you're going to be missed. And at graduation, you will get only what the norm, which is the last minute money of whatever's left in federal money or whatever's left in um, grants or Pell grants or whatever's in your state, right? So check it out, right? Here's some preventive things that you need to take care of. Most people or most students are under the impression that only students who are on the honor roll can receive scholarships. Well, that's not necessarily true, right? So there's scholarships for different things out there. My favorite is community service because all you gotta do is lend a hand to someone, document it, and you can get some funding from that. Anywhere from 1,500 to 20,000, 50,000, whatever that entity is offering. And then my second favorite is association, affiliating yourself with an organization that is in the same discipline that you are seeking. For example, if you're going to be an engineer, there's engineers associations. If you're going to be a truck driver, there's a trucking association. If you want to be an accountant, there's an accountant association. If you want to be an attorney, there's an attorney association. If you want to be a business owner, there's business associations, and the list goes on and on. That's my second favorite. The rest of these on here, um, you have if you're working at some particular fast food or Walmart or some type of retail store, guys, don't leave those jobs without asking if they offer a scholarship. Even if it's 250, $50, it doesn't matter. Trust me, those books cost. You're gonna wish you had. Those books cost. So here's a list, and there's more, right? You just have to Google it, research it. Google make things very, very easy. Here's a website, right? Okay. All right. So if you're in the Carolina area, here's a website. Here's a foundation who offers scholarships, right? So if you're getting ready for 2017-18 year, I recommend that you visit that website. Then, if you're going to go to a liberal arts school, UNCF, it's a good time to start putting in for that. Scholarship, interns, and fellowships. Here's another cool website. Have some pretty practical scholarship information. You can just apply. There's the source. And here's a little tool that I created. Pretty simple. It's a career board. Most people might look at it like a vision board. And basically, what it is that you choose your career field. When you choose your career field, let me see if I can bring it down a little bit. So you place it here, right? Now, let's talk about that. You know, if you don't know, I'm telling you, my friend Alicia Parker told me about this. Based on the career field that you choose, based on the degree, your major is how financial aid is dispersed. So, what is the current trend right now? What is leading the country? Technology, right? So, if you was majoring in computer science or IT, information technology, hardware, something of that nature, you would get more Pell Grant than someone majoring in general business. So, if you ever wonder how some people get more money, more federal money than others, one of the reason is because of what they're choosing to major in. So let's talk about that for a second. Many of our students are choosing career fields because it may be uh, an easy journey through college, um, or they're undecided because why? They haven't done any research on what exactly they want to do in their adult life, right? They may want to own a business, so they'll say, "Well, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to have own a small business one day. This is what I'm interested in, so I want to major in business." Well, sweetheart, I'm here to tell you, you don't have to go to college and spend all of that money to learn business. Really, the only thing you have to do is get with scores or some of the business networking centers in your area, and you can learn that. You don't need to go to college for that, right? But what you do need to go to college for is, what are you trying to do again? Okay, well, I want to be a let's say do I want to deal with natural disasters, right? That's a new area, emergency management. So then I'm not gonna just go where I want to run a bit I want to own a business where I help people with natural disasters. So I want to be a business major because I want to know how to own a business. No, you need to go to school for the emergency management, and then you can learn business as you learn about natural disasters, right? Or if I want to be, if I want to go to school and I want to be a cosmetologist, or I want to be a hairstylist, then I have to go to cosmetology school, and I don't need to take up business while I don't need to go and also get me a business degree, because what I need to be learning is cosmetology, because I can learn business for free somewhere else. And I'm not telling you not to major in business. What I'm saying is you need to find out what's trending, if you're going to be one of those people where you get out of college and you just want to get a job, then you need to find out what who's hiring and what industry is booming right now, right? And that's pretty much what this board designed you to do. So you pick your degree field based on what's trending. If you're going to go work for somebody, if you want to have your own private practice, you still need to do your research. Where do you want to have your office at? You know, is there a need for that in that area, right? You have to do your research. You have to find a coach, a mentor, someone who can guide you through. You need to determine what's the best school for that career, right? It's cool to pick the school, the traditional school or the school that most of your family have gone to, but then you need to understand how is that going to impact your life after graduation. An association. Listen, one of the best things you can do is join an association. Why? Because those are career professional individuals who are working in those associations who can guide you on the right path. Talk about executing properly. Those individuals is where you want to be. You want to spend time with these people. And sometimes, it might have to take a little bit of your little leisure activity, but you're going to have to do something if you want to be successful. Unless you will do business as usual. That's cool if that's what you like. But I don't hear you complaining. Short term goals, long term goals. You have to decide, you have to put on pen and paper, and then you have to diligently seek these goals. You have to really determine how you're going to reach it. You can't make your goals so broad that they're unattainable. Okay, goals should be smart, specific, practical, attainable, reliable, and timely. You cannot just choose something out the blue because you heard someone else. Okay, you got to do your research. You have to know what's best for you. Long-term goals, same deal. If you're going to school, you have to decide: are you gonna own a business, a private practice? When you come out of college, are you going to go straight to grad school? Do you want a PhD? So that when you start this undergrad degree, you won't waste time, because you will set yourself on track all the way to the end, which would be, if it's educational, it would be to the PhD or the doctorate, right? If it's the private practice, while you in this 4-year degree, you could prepare for private practice, because you would be asking the questions necessary and putting your business plan together as you move along. And then as you write, it will be getting vetted and tested by your instructors. So by the time you graduate those 4 years, your whole plan is in order. And then funding. If you have done all of these 5 steps prior to getting to this step right here, then you would have already have an idea of how you're going to get money to pay for school. But if you're in school right now and you haven't even thought about how you're going to pay for your next move, if you're going to the military, it's pretty simple. We already know you get paid from day one, right? But if you're going, and if you go to work, Depending on your skill set, depending on your relationship, your community relationship, or your family relationship with the community is going to determine whether you become an hourly employee or a salary employee. That's how that's going to work. So either way it go, you have to do your research. If you want to get a trade or you're going to go to a tech school, that could be beneficial because probably you still want to make connections. The school may make job placement connections for you. So that's a pretty good move. Not a bad move at all, right? But we have to get our execution down pat. If you're going to do entrepreneurship, almost the same rule apply, y'all. Got to determine where you want to be. You want to be profit or you want to be nonprofit. Understanding that if you're going to be a small business and if you create a product, you create a product or you want to sell a product, you have to know the needs of your consumers. You can't just sell what you want to sell and then get mad because nobody want to buy it. Then you need to look at the you need to decide if where you're selling it or your audience or your target market is who you want to be involved with. If you are a nonprofit organization, that means that if that organization was put together for the community. Community. Meaning you're not for profit, you're wanting to meet some particular need in the community, right? Don't forget that. Don't be nonprofit and you up here operating like you are for or you operating like you own it. And that's why you have a board, right? I mean, it's cool. Y'all could work together because your board should be somebody who's raising funds for you. Don't just be putting people on your board and they can't raise no money. That's not how it works, right? Gotta have professionals who has the ability to raise money. Now, we've all just witnessed this president's election. We all know that they go out and they fundraiser to make money to campaign. So what makes you think it's different from you? What makes you think as a small business owner or nonprofit owner that you don't have to put in no work to get people to invest in you or to see your vision and see your goal and put money behind you to launch that? All right, y'all. We got to research better and we have to execute. So it is the same rule apply if you want to own a business, right? And so if you're going to go to college and let's say you run across a scholarship and it wants you to write an essay, okay? Let's say you're not a really good writer. Well, here's a little template that can help you out on writing a paper because for some reason you just haven't figured out how to connect that. Here you go. Some example. Screenshot it, use it later. All right. Let's go through the areas of an essay. Let's get down. All right. So here's some do's and don'ts. Paragraph 1, the introduction paragraph. You have to pay attention to the introductory paragraph because why? This is the first paragraph of your essay. It is your opportunity to give the reader the best impression possible. The introductory paragraph not only gives the reader an idea of what we'll talk about, but it shows them how you will talk about it. Put a disproportionate amount of effort into this. More than 20%, a simple calculation would suggest, and you will be rewarded accordingly. All right, now here's what not to do. All right, so a lot of people really don't understand the passive voice. You're really supposed to speak in active voice. So active voice within the subject direction, action rather than let the action happen to them. Here's an example. The score, he scored a 97% instead of he was given a 97%. In this sentence, let me just show you right here. Was given. Anytime there is a helping verb before the verb, that's when you know you're using passive voice. So it should be noun, verb, and then whatever it's describing or whatever the action is. All right. And that's pretty much how you remember passive voice. Anytime you have to use a helping verb with another verb, that's going to throw you into passive voice, right? And since we're talking about passive voice, let me show you a little trick. Let's try something. Let me see if I have something I can show you. All right. All right. You want to go to review. You want to right click. Oh, review. You want to click on spell check. That's not where I want to go. Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Review. Check accessibility right here. Let's click on that. Read more documents accessible. Hold on. Let's see. Because this is a new, this is 2000, Word 2016 I'm working with. So, so I have to figure out where it's at. Give me a second. Hold up. It's taking a minute. See if I'll be able to show you. Oh man, may not be able to show you until I figure it out on this program. All right, it's not in the same spot, but on a Word document, you can set the readability on. Okay, here we go. Hold on, I got it. Right click. All right, so if you're using a higher version, you would right click on grammar, spelling and grammar, and you would go to. Oh gosh, this is gonna drive me. It's gonna drive me. Right click, customize. Okay, here we go. Right click on check spelling and grammar. Hit customize, and then you want to go to proofing. And on proofing, right here, you want to make sure check spelling as you type, mark grammar errors as you type, frequently confused words, check grammar with spelling, and show readable statistics, and then grammar and more. And then you want to hit OK, right? And then this time when I hit spell check and grammar, I'm just going to click one time. And I need to ignore that. Check. Change that. And ignore that. Ignore that. Ignore. So I'm going through and I'm checking my document. Ignore that. And change that. Change that. Yeah. And soon you will see how what's the results are going to be. And let's see. It's almost there. Almost done. So I'm going through it and I'm almost done. And you're going to see what I'm talking about when I check those blocks for checking your paper. For some people, it might be beneficial to them right now while they're in school if they set their word up like this, because it gives them the opportunity. It gives you an opportunity to not get grammar mistakes on your papers. Because if you do this, this would probably eliminate a lot of your, this will probably keep you from getting a 95 versus 100 by these small little grammatical errors. And trust me, if you are writing papers in school, this is why your instructors want a Word document electronically when you submit it, because this is what they do. They go and it makes it so much easier. This also besides the plagiarism checker. So okay, so it says it's complete. Okay, so this is what I wanted you to see right here. If you had a paper that had a specific word count, bam, I know you can see it at the bottom of the page right here, but it also shows up right here. Also shows how many characters, number of paragraphs, number of sentences, right? But this is this right here. Easy readable grade point level and passive voice. See this number right here? This should not be, you should, if you eliminate this 42, well, if whoever wrote this, eliminate this 42% passive voice, that increases your grade on your paper. His readability, it will go up. If you decrease this passive voice, this number right here will go up, and that's what you want. This 14 grade point level, that's pretty good. They're reading on a college level. They should have been, whoever wrote it, right? And so that's the little plug-in for how to get, uh-oh, I got y'all in a session in the middle class. Hold on. Get you back where you need to be. Anybody interested in learning how to read the hieroglyphs? I don't know. It's my spot. Oh well. Hold on. I think I closed out my I think I closed out my file. Let me open it back. Oh, there we go. Here it is. All right. So that was how you find out, how much passive voice you have in a paper, and it makes a huge difference. Trust me. So that was paragraph one, the introductory. See where I got this info from? You can go to this website right here. All right. Then you have the body of the paragraph, the paragraph 2, 3, and 4. All right. So you want to tie things together. So your first sentence should be the topic sentence of your body paragraph. It needs to have a lot of individual pieces to truly be effective. Not only should it open with a transition that signals the change from one idea to the next, but also it should ideally have a common thread which ties all of the body paragraphs together. For example, if you use first in the first paragraph, then you should use secondly in the second, or on the one hand and on the other hand accordingly, right? All right, what not to do. Be too general. For example, examples should be relevant to the thesis and should ex- and so should the explanatory details you provide for them. It can be hard to summarize the full richness of a given example in just a few lines to make them count. If you're trying to explain why George Washington is a great example of a strong leader, instead, his childhood adventure with the cherry tree, although interesting to in another essay, should probably be skipped over. Exactly. Cherry tree ain't have nothing to do with his leadership. Then your last paragraph. That conclusion, it has to be powerful. The conclusion paragraph can be a difficult paragraph to write effectively, but as it is your last chance to convince or otherwise impress the reader, it is worth investing some time in. Take this opportunity to restate your thesis with confidence. If you present your argument as obvious, then the reader might just do the same. What not to do? Copy the first paragraph. Okay, you can't just restate the first paragraph. Although you can reuse the same keywords in the conclusion as you did in the introduction, try not to copy whole phrases words for word. Instead, try to use the last paragraph to really show your skills as a writer by being as artful as your rephrasing as possible. And so that's the essay. Those are some little examples of how to do the essay. Now let's talk about formatting. You want to make sure that your paper is double spaced. You're using Time Numerous Romans. Don't be using all the fancy fonts. I know, you know, y'all like to just y'all want to do what you want to do, but that's not how it works. You got to stay basic, okay? Then you need to use 12-point font and 1 inch from the top, bottom, and the side margins. So you have to set your margins. Let me show you how to do that because some of you might not be that savvy. So if you're in your Word document, and I will tell you, even when you're doing governmental bids and you're sending in your technical document, they want this same format, y'all. Okay, so if you're in your Word document, you hit page layout, you see margins right here. When you click on margins, top 1 inch left, bottom right, bam. If you click that, it should move the paper where it needs to be. Okay. Also, justifiable. You see how this is flush on the right, left, and flush on the right? If you went to home and you clicked right here, justify, it will, and you highlight, if I highlight it, let me take it off of justify, show you what it looks like. Bam. You see how it's just all, it just moved everything and it's only justified on the left? But then if I hit justify, you see what it did? Isn't that more of a quality look? All right, that's what I'm talking about right now. Oh Lord, I lost it again. All right, so that's what we're talking about right there. Just giving you a little lesson, right? The essay do's and don'ts. We won't do that. All right, so boom. That's a little overview on the college students. Y'all get prepared. You got to start executing the plan, right? Start executing the plan, and you start off by these tools. You got to have this stuff, right? That prepares you. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get something. That's just the line of defense. This is just your backup because this is what they're going to ask you for when you start searching. So you don't have to sit up there and say nobody told you or you don't have it because if you're missing something out your packet, you will not get selected. Bottom line. You have to execute and you have to execute according to the rules. You can't do it the way you want to do it. You have to do it the way they say they want it done. And that's the bottom line. Now let's go to this website here. So here's the Pearson website. And so here's a scholarship, care and life science scholarship. So if you're in the healthcare field, biology and all of that good stuff, got a 3.0 and whatnot, they want you to write a 1,000 to 2,000 word essay on how their specialized knowledge could apply to improve the practice of law. Right? And this is restricted. This scholarship is restricted to therapy, rehab, biology, marine biology, neurobiology, nursing, dental health services, oncology, optometry, health, medical services, and public health. Right? They want you got to do your research. So check it out. Right? If you have to do a paper, an essay, once you get the fundamentals down of what you're gonna write, just do some research so you can get that knocked out. Trust me, you guys are not writing. You know what? I bet that you're not writing. You're not writing because you probably don't the topic, right? So you're probably not writing because you don't understand the topic, and you don't understand the topic because you're not doing your research. That's pretty much it. So if you're having trouble writing essays, because that's the only thing I can see that the only reason you're not applying is because you're getting hung up on the essay. And you're probably getting hung up on the essay because you don't have enough information in you in reference to the topic. So you're going to have to do your research. You're going to have to take a little time and you're going to have to think about what it is they're asking you, and you're going to have to research. See, we have to get out of the moment of somebody else is going to do it. Well, my counselor didn't give me the information, or my teacher didn't tell me about that, or my school didn't make it available for me. No, everybody has access to technology. Either you have a phone, a tablet, a computer, you have a lab at school, or maybe you have a public library where they at least allot you 30 minutes on the computer. So you have time. So the real question is how much time are you investing in you? Now, for many, they'll say, "Oh, I'm investing a lot of time in me," because you get up in the morning and you groom yourself and pamper yourself and damper yourself down, and make sure you have the flyest fashion on for the day, you know, listening to some great music or whatnot. I'm investing about 2, 3 hours, Mo. Yeah, but that's probably for mental relaxation. I look good, I feel good sake. But what about this career field that you want to be a part of? Listen, you cannot walk in the doors of a job interview and have no idea about that company. It doesn't even matter if it's fast food. You got to know, you have to have done some type of homework. If When I worked at McDonald's when I was in college in Kansas, and I decided I want to get a job for 2 days out of the week. And so I said, okay, I'm going to go to the closest place. So I went to McDonald's. But guess what? When I started working there, I wanted to own a franchise. So I was trying to learn the proper procedures of everything in that fast food. And I just knew I was going to own a McDonald's franchise someday, right? But of course, as time go by and you change, you start doing something different. But at the end of the day, I had down pat, right? Because I had a plan. I went in there with a nice little plan of what I was going to do, but I had to put in some work. Even had to go to the McDonald's school, right, and train. So what are you doing? I mean, we're working. If you're just working to get a check, you're just waiting for the first and the 15th, or maybe you just every other Friday you get paid. Then you're gonna have to sit down, or that's what you're thinking because that's what you see. If you're a student, you see that's what your parents do. You know, they leave, they go to work, they come back, they get paid, and then they do things. If that's what you think life is about, baby, you're gonna have a long, or you're gonna be on the fence watching other people be successful and enjoying and relaxing and vacationing because they took the time to research what it is they want to get involved in, and then they created themselves a timeline on how they were going to get it done. And then now they are accumulating the finances necessary for them to have a particular lifestyle. That's not going to be your story. You're going to be on the other side of the fence, because instead of understanding what entrepreneurship does for you, you're going to go out and you're going to need more money for your lifestyle, and you're going to go get another job, which means you're going to be burning up your entire day working. And that's not what we want from you. Okay. So take advantage of opportunities and start executing now. You have to do the research. Just like I said here and went through a series of things with you, you have to do your research, you have to do your due diligence. And just because you did the research, just because you got the packet together, just because you applied for the scholarship is not the end. That's not it. You're gonna have to gain some relationships. You have to gain some relationships, and you're gonna have to follow up, follow up, follow up. Okay? All right. Well, just in case anybody wants to know, or maybe you want to hang out while I go through these sessions next time, you can email me at tricityv@gmail.com. tricityv@gmail.com. And then we can do more seeking and searching, or I can tailor it to your career field and help you gain some relationships with some folks. And guess what? You have to start somewhere, so don't be afraid. Okay? All right, y'all. Let's get these students online. Let's get them headed in the right direction, and let's get them executing the plan. Peace.